Parents, take a look and familiarize yourself with this excellent piece of legislation. I do want to address you on tab 26, the resolution supporting school-based health clinics and opposing HR 6173 for action on September 11th. Thank you, Ms. Garcia, Ms. Gallatin, Ms. Martinez, for bringing this resolution forward. There is plenty of room for debate and discussion over the issues of adolescent medicine and teenage sexuality. These are not easy subjects. These are not easy times to be a kid or an educator. What there isn't room for is ignorance. The news is full of ignorance right now in the rather public discussion of Congressman Aiken and his concept of legitimate rank. We are all educators, teachers, parents, administrators, school staff, students themselves, and the greater community. Our LAUSD school-based health clinics started as a partnership over a century ago by PTA and the LA City Schools. Offer education, screenings, counseling, and treatment. We dispense knowledge and information to our students at our clinics. We need to reinforce LAUSD's commitment to the mission of healthy students as identified in Whereas 1. We need to support and strengthen our commitment to quality school-based health care and education in our clinics, programs, and community partnerships. We need to reaffirm our commitment to comprehensive health, nutrition, and wellness education, embedded in the curriculum pre-K through 12, and in the graduation requirements for middle and high school here in LAUSD. PTA supports this work and seeks amendments to this resolution to make it even better, stronger, and more effective. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Next speaker.
A sus hijos.
In terms of the state of California and education funding, number 1, California ranking 47th in terms of per pupil funding. Number 2, ranking 50th in class size, and then number 3, ranking 32 in terms of overall school funding fairness. Not so much that we supplant, but rather supplement the existing funding for our schools for early learning as well as higher education. Given that over the weekend the White House came out with a report on class size. Since June 2009, nationwide 300 teachers have lost their jobs, and how that has impacted class size throughout the country in terms of student-to-teacher ratio of 4.6% increase in that ratio, and how that would impact class size, how that impacts student achievement overall. So in support of additional resources and additional investments in our children, in our youth, and also in our families and communities. So thank you so much and for your support on Proctor.
Para las escuelas de la comunidad, ya que la necesitamos mucho. Tenemos muchos maestros que están afuera ya de sus planteles y necesitamos.
Good afternoon. I'm here also in support of Proposition 38. We would like to see the resources coming to our school and to our communities.
Y pues necesitamos que por favor nos asesoren con los recursos para nuestros estudiantes, para nuestros niños.
So we ask you to please continue to support us and help us and assist us with all the resources for our children. I'm a member of a very large community, an educational community. Thank you.
Campaign kickoff, which we wanted to verify and find out, if there was a way that we could document the horrible examples we've been hearing about in terms of the health and safety concerns, the crisis in our school district that we see, on our end with all the rifts and layoffs of health and human service professionals, nurses, counselors, PSA, people service attendants, counselors, psychiatric social workers, unprecedented numbers. So we had the Williams Complaint Form campaign, and there were over 313 schools identified, and we received over 600 of these forms that were turned in. We had parents turn them in saying, dangerous situation, please help, no counseling services for students with emotional and behavioral needs, We have nurses saying, kids are having insulin reactions and all diabetic children and all kinds of needs that require, nurses right there in the schools more than 1 day a week or 2 days a week that's required by state law. So from these forms, we got responses back that saying that it wasn't applicable, that the concerns expressed weren't the purview of this Williams complaint form. So we want to draw this to our attention that this is a health and safety crisis for our students, and that this needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed, and that these forms aren't even in all of the schools. They're not posted like they're supposed to, and we feel that there's been kind of a laxness in the carrying out of the Williams complaint. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Item 29.
I'll spot you the extra 2 seconds. Go for it.
Typical of the district, nothing is straight here. George Mazzetti, Director of Policy, Congress of Racial Equality of California. Unbelievable, one more time I'm here for special education by myself. This has been a special thing to me for a long time. My cousin was born with no arms. Only person ever marched a dime board twice. Pretty tragic thing. Learned this as a young kid. See it happen. See the problems. Luckily, Lockheed cared about him because my uncle was an engineer. Most kids like my cousin get treated pretty poorly. I have a friend of mine. This district killed one of his special ed students. This district sent a kid that needed a heart transplant to a school purposely without a nurse. That kid had a heart attack and died. You cannot believe how many problems I know that go on with special education with this district and your highly paid attorneys that are paid to just rip people off and not tell them what's really going on. In tab 4 today, all you say is, we're just going to do what we did before. Just like the last board meeting when you were here on the budget, and the budget item had 5 pages with no numbers. You had the budget hidden without reference in the Inspector General's report. Now, luckily I'm a speed reader and I know how to go through this stuff, okay? I see a reference today to PPAC. Rick Casillas here, destroyer of community parent relations. Okay? That's her job. With your illegal creation of PPAC, your illegal destruction of District Advisory Council, PPAC does not exist anymore. Are you aware of that? And yet they got a meeting to try to pass your consolidated application? Then you bring RTI into the fold, and boy, when Learning Disabilities Association asked me to analyze that federal law, that became real fun. Because I can literally steal 60% of the special ed money by not identifying kids and interfund transferring that money. So I don't believe you guys are playing things straight here with special education, because you never have. It's been a special thing to me for a long time. And it's not going to stop. And of course, California, because you people go after the most vulnerable always. And you are an academic failure. I have your dropout rate, your ABIs for every high school.
Okay, thank you.
You guys.
Are there any other additional speakers on item 4? Okay. Board members, comments, questions on item 4? Starting to my left. Dr. Vladimir, Mr. Martinez, Mr. Kaiser.
I just want to reiterate the importance of federal funding and the failure of our federal government to fund fund IDA at close to the mandated level, where there's a major hole in this district. So I just want to remind us as we pass this that we're not whole, and that's a major reason that's why we're not whole.
Thank you for reminding us of that, Mr. Zimmer. Ms. Lamont, any questions or comments on this item? Mr. Crank, we have a roll call vote on item 4.
Yes. Mr. Kaiser? Yes. Yes vote. Ms. Lamont? Yes vote. Ms. Martinez? Yes vote. Dr. Vladimir? Yes. Thank you. Mr. Zimmer?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes vote. Ms. Gallatin?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia is absent. Item passes.
We were on to number 5, the submission of the 2012-13 consolidated application for categorical aid programs. Can I have it moved and seconded?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Zimmer, seconded by Ms. Martinez. Are there speakers on item 5? There is one speaker on number 5.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, and I think you already spoke on the other item and combined your
I keep
comments.
seeing people come up, so I don't understand legally. Who's a legal counsel? Can you give me the legal parameters of why I can't come back as other people have come back to speak under and how it says I can't? So I mean, just give me the legal. I'm not arguing that this is the legal. That's all I want to know. As long as we got legal.
Mr. Crane will respond.
They just switched the game.
Board rules allow an individual to speak to more than one item in a 3-minute term. The exceptions are for public hearings, which are noted on the agenda. Public hearings, you can speak a multiple number of times if you have to pull a card for that item. Those should be the only exceptions that we have.
Thank you, Mr. Crane. I have noted here that a board member had a question on item 5. Someone pulled it off consent for a question on number 5.
Excuse me, can we come back and
Ms.
finish?
Lamont.
Did you just say then I can speak again?
Excuse me, Ms. Lamont, you had a question on number 5?
Yes, I did. I noticed here that they are not collecting, we can look at fines for all the violence and what have you. So who's going to collect some of this data that's no longer being collected here? I'm on the right. That's on page 146. It will no longer collect data on school violence, interruptions, and suspensions. My question is, who will collect that if it's not being collected as a part of this report? Okay, it's on page 156. It's in the last paragraph. Okay, so if you need to get back to me.
146, I got it, 146,
Okay.
okay. So let's provide that information.
It will no longer collect data and all of that
Yes.
in the consolidated application. So if that's true, I'm simply asking, we have someone here to answer
Yes, thank
this.
you.
Okay.
Good afternoon, members of the board. Kathy Norris, Assistant Budget Director. It's my understanding that that data will be collected as part of CalPADS. It's moving from the consolidated application to the CalPAD system.
And it will come to us then through the CalPAS system?
I know that it's being collected via CalPADS, but I don't know what the mechanism is to then get that information to the board, but I'm sure we can find out.
Okay. I'm sorry, I can't see.
It comes back to us in a series of reports, not through this, but through the state of California.
Okay, so we will no longer collect suspensions and what have you.
No.
I know it's a part of the performance meter.
No, we do that. This particular program doesn't, it goes to the state function. This is a federal grant.
Okay, so we will continue doing it for our purposes.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments on number 5?
One, Mark. I'd like at some point, Dr. Daisy, in your analysis moving forward with the budget next week, how will this be affected by the sequestration cuts?
The question is
very, very fragile.
what would be the effect of sequestration? So for folks in the audience, that is what will happen on January the 1st. It is on a resolution of the federal budget. which would be an across the board. We estimate 9% cut in each one of these categories. We have that, and we'll present that with the first budget in September.
I have another
I think every category.
Ms. Lamont, another question?
Page 150, is that the same one about something different? I think it's different.
I think it's past it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Number 5, I think we are ready for a roll call vote. Mr. Crane? First, Dr. Blatter.
Before we take a vote, the delegation impact statement was never signed, so am I really voting for a true document, Mr. Superintendent?
Yes.
Okay, then you'll come and sign mine, right? So before I
I will Ms. King, and Mr. Holmquist,
I need a
Mr.
sign.
Dino, Ms. Akin. Yes.
You know, I'm being facetious, but every page, we've got to do something. Because if you don't sign it, it means you didn't write it and you didn't approve it.
Ms. Galvin, I found what I'm looking for. It's on page 150. And the only thing I want to say, we have been talking about SEL all afternoon, and I know they're an integral part of this. So it's on page 150, and I'm asking where's the 25% SEL students? And if they're here, they need to be included in the assessments, and they're not here again. And we keep bringing them in and pushing them out. So can we please add this at the bottom where we list socioeconomically parental involvement, language youth, how they qualify, all that, just list it as something we're assessing.
Any other comments? Okay, Mr. Crane, we are now ready.
Mr. Kaiser?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Ms. Lamont? Yes, sir. Ms. Martinez? Yes. Dr. Gladrick?
Yes, with the understanding he approves this, so.
Thank you. Mr. Zimmer? Yes, Coach? Ms. Garcia? Absent. Ms. Gallatin?
Yes.
Yes, vote. Item passes.
Colleagues, we're moving on to number 8.
The United States brought this before the board and the city. If a child with special needs cannot get access to a school, it means their instructional opportunities are limited. That is why the Office of the Independent Monitor raises these issues, not just because there's a lack of facilities question. It's the nexus between the facilities and the opportunity to learn, so that there are not separate but equal facilities for kids who are disabled and kids that are able or employees.
Thank you, sir. Any other speakers?
Jessica was honored with Best Personality in the Yearbook. My daughter Jenny went on to write her very own screenplay and starring. All that without an agent. Unheard of. While being a nanny for one of Hollywood's biggest Hollywood agents. Not asking her boss to be my daughter's agent. Showing true humility and commitment. With that leads you to me, thus leading me to you. I am a veteran of the United States Air Force, musician, writer, entrepreneur, and my first great uncle was the Pope during World War II. My family has been in the media industries, all of them for many, many years. All of these are great endeavors. The greatest endeavor of all would be to lead the capital city of music. Music school district in the most popular of arts music and saving it. It would be an honor and a lot of work. I believe music for our children will prove to be an exciting and nurturing experience. Sorry, I need to take a second. It would be an honor and a lot of work. I believe music for our children will prove to be an exciting and nurturing experience for our children and bring unity to our society. I have been working on this project for 3 years before LAUSD had the thought of eliminating music altogether. I believe that by eliminating music from school system, there are many great results that we are already starting to see. But these results are very few.
Sir, I need you to wrap up, please, your time.
Wrap up? No, I'm going to finish here. And there are very few in comparison to what we will see by eliminating music. Music for Our Children will show LAUSD that we can bring the city in the future, that we can, when one said, God rest his soul, we can all just get along. We have the talent in our organization and working on sponsorship. The list is long, cannot take the time, and see a huge growth of support towards our foundation. In the Enlightenment era, it was proven that change in the social structure of a society was good. With music and children as our vehicle, we are a win-win.
Thank you very much, sir.
That's not 3 minutes, and I'm not doing time right here.
That is
There's a 0-0 clock here. I'm
Because
not
your
doing
time expired, sir,
No,
about a
it
minute
did
ago.
not. No, it was always 0-0.
No, it wasn't.
No, well, okay, I'm sorry about that.
Thank you very much. Next speaker. Everybody gets 3 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
You stole time. Dude, you stole time. You did good, yeah, you stole
I
time.
may not be a Mozart,
Okay,
but I make
Really?
a damn good George. I came all the way from San Diego on Amtrak. I spent $30, and I'm going back on Amtrak, hopefully not in the box, because I have a heart condition. But I came here basically because my daughter's been trying to get dental coverage. You mentioned, Nuri, about problems in the school, unsafe. My daughter has just had 6 root canals because she's disabled. She's got Bruxelles disease, anorexia, and a lot of other things. She's alive because I take care of the seats of my family. I came here 2 weeks ago. Can I get a dentist from Safeguard under MetLife? They're the Bracolian dentists of our system. So when I came here, all I got were the words, excuse me. Hi up there. I talked to the manager of the insurance division, risk department. She said, Mr. Garrett, I'm going on a 2.5-week vacation. I'll leave a number for you. Well, I'm not going to mention her name. The name is right there. But I'm going to take this to some politicians in San Diego, where I'm from, and we're going to deal with this. She said, I'm going on a vacation. Well, I don't take a vacation from a daughter who may die any minute, any day. Like you, Nuri, you want to make sure your school is safe. I want my daughter to live another day. And I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book called Ambrose Schindler. It's the greatest football story that ever was made. It's finished, and I'll have book signings all over San Diego. And welcome to the San Diego Exposition in 2 more years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker. Speaker number 4, 5, 7, 8. Which number are you, sir?
Good afternoon, board members, those of you who are still left in the audience, and those of you watching this via the web and on TV. My name is Milton Smith, and I'm the project director for Connect to Protect Los Angeles, also known as C2P LA. We're actually housed inside of Children's Hospital Los Angeles, but we're a coalition of over 40 different partner agencies throughout Southern California who work together to reduce HIV and AIDS within our
email
county.
me and
I'd
you'll
like to
see
first
yourself.
wish all of the
George
students
One LA.
and the staff of
I'll be putting
LAUSD
it up
a
on
very
the
healthy and happy and productive
Great job. You came from
2012-2013
San Diego
school
for
year.
You're the real deal.
Especially our friends at Downtown Magnets High School, which are gracious enough to host our monthly meetings. I also want to applaud the following board members. Board member Ms. Garcia, Ms. Martinez, and I don't want to butcher your name, but Ms. Galazan, for your support of our school-based health clinics and your opposition to HR 6173 and other such bills like it, both federally and state bills. In my role as the project director for C2PLA, I'm responsible for supporting the coalition as it seeks to address the social determinants of health for youth in LAUSD and college-age youth in our county. And as we know, social determinants of health of those students most at risk are contributors to huge numbers in HIV and AIDS in our county. And on June 20th, Dr. Kevin Fenton from the CDC visited Los Angeles and held a community engagement session around issues pertaining to HIV in LA County. Fortunately enough, we had Tim Cordage from LAUSD in the room who spoke on behalf of LAUSD and the work that they were doing. And I've actually partnered with him through the coalition for the last 6 years around those health issues. The students that were there talked about the lack of sexual health education that were in their schools and talked about the lack of safe spaces for LGBTQ students. As the county looks at addressing its 5-year plan around sexual health, including HIV education, it is imperative for LAUSD to get on board to support reducing those numbers. It's great to have people like Tim Cordage and the Community Relations Office there, but we need to have an overall support built in throughout the whole LAUSD school board, and that includes this body. Again, the rates of infections are increasing, and the first step isn't just having a health clinic, it's having comprehensive sexual health education that's age appropriate, taught to students by credentialed health experts. Our coalition meets once a month, and again, downtown Magnet High School, our meetings tomorrow. We look forward to having people from your offices there. I'll be emailing you guys all a direct invitation. If you can't make this meeting, we welcome you for the next one. Thank you very much.
Very good subject.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mauricio Blanco, and I work for the Division of Adolescent Medicine at Children's Hospital through its HIV prevention program and as a research associate and HIV test counselor for youth. In an effort to strategically work with community members, parents, administrators, and school-based health clinics, I invite members of the board and their staff to attend the Connect to Protect Los Angeles C2PLA School Subcommittee meetings. Our vision is that young gay and bisexual men of color will be empowered with skills and information to make healthy choices in a safe and respectful school environment. Our work involves creating systemic and structural changes, like implementing health education to support HIV prevention and awareness for all youth in schools. Our meetings are the 4th Wednesday of every month from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the downtown Magnet High School campus. Our next meeting is tomorrow, as mentioned, and our other is at September 26th. As a school subcommittee co-chair and on behalf of the members of the subcommittee, we look forward to working with members of the board and the staff to ensure that health of all youth in LAUSD, including charter schools, is comprehensive and inclusive of all youth identities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker. Your speaker number 9?
I'm 10.
I'm 9.
Oh,
You want to go ahead? Go.
okay.
Go.
Good afternoon, Board President Garcia, members of the board, LAUS staff, and the rest of our community here. My name is Ruth Cusick, and I'm the lead attorney on the School Push-Out Reversal Project at Public Counsel Law Center. We work along with Cadre, a parent organizing group in South LA, and other members of the Dignity in Schools campaign on school push-out issues and full implementation of PBIS here in LAUSD. This morning at a press conference, the Dignity in Schools campaign, along with the Opportunity to Learn, released a model code on education and dignity, a human rights framework for our schools. And it's our national campaign's policy blueprint for reform. We also launched Solutions Not Suspensions, a call for a national moratorium on out-of-school suspensions until schools are implementing the positive reforms outlined. We're really happy to count LAUSD as a leader in this work with our PBIS Discipline Foundation policy, and I wanted to thank Superintendent Daisy for his highlighting of the importance of this work
calling for full implementation of the Discipline Foundation policy and his strategic plan. But we all need to work together moving forward to make sure that community and parents understand and are a part of knowing how full implementation is going to happen. So that includes continuing the work of the PBIS task force, quarterly data reporting that will include indicators like office discipline referrals and use of alternatives to suspension, and making sure that our new operations administrators with the reorganization of the district have access to expert training on PBIS, and we continue to develop rather than reinvent the wheel with the change in leadership. Because we need to make sure that the wonderful decrease in suspension numbers that we're seeing is not just individual highlighted successes, but actually a move for the whole district, that they're a direct result of these positive alternatives. We'll be in touch with all of your offices and send you the link to the model code. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Speaker number 9.
Unfortunately, I only have one copy, as my printer would let me put another cartridge in it today. Dear Board and public, on 8/11/12, LAUSD George Rossetti, Director of Policy, Congress of Racial Equality, California. On 8/11/12, LAUSD Superintendent Deasy and Board President Monica Garcia testified before the Assembly Select Committee on State School Financial Takeover. Superintendent Deasy and Board President Garcia both stated to this committee LAUSD only had about 5,000 per student. In 2010-11, according to California Department of Education CDE, LAUSD's income per student was 11,203. I asked, which number is correct? This hearing was to help prevent school districts from being taken over by the state for financial reasons. Just 3 days before the hearing, the story breaks on school construction bonds, which have to be paid back at a ratio of 10-to-1 instead of 2-to-1. Making a San Diego's bond that was for $103 million take $1.3 billion to repay. The next day, Superintendent Deasy and Board President Garcia announced that every student will have a notebook in 18 months. Who's going to pay for all those costs? How much will be district expense? LAUSD was one of the districts listed as potentially going into state financial takeover. LAUSD consumes about 16% of the K-12 state school budget. This means that all contracts will be null and void. We do not see proper management of this district academically or financially. The other subject concerns some of our observations about the Reed decision. 1. Many professional teachers have no desire to go to schools where there's been little or no support for reasonable discipline. Reasonable discipline is a necessity in order to be able to teach students that have been socially promoted. Many students do not have the fundamental skills necessary to understand what their secondary single subject credential teacher is diligently trying to teach them. 2. You want a fully experienced teacher in the classroom just as you would want a fully experienced neurosurgeon for your neurosurgery. Or would you rather have an amateur? Teachers are professionals, contrary to the common jargon going around now. 3, clearly, it is not the optimism of new teachers and the fact that 65% of some inner city school faculties were subject to losing their jobs. Rather, it was the ability to pay these novice teachers less than half of what experienced teachers make, while at the same time taking a significant step to break seniority, tenure, professionalism, and the union that advocates for such. 4, another disincentive for high seniority teachers going to these low-performing inner-city schools is that they stand a greater chance of being targeted for dismissal if they insist on minimum rigor and competence in their courses and refuse to socially promote students who are completely unprepared. Therefore, Reed was brought forth on a false assumption. The district really cared and would have worked with UCLA to move the most effective and experienced teachers into these needy schools while giving the schools the assistance with discipline and remediation. Without discipline, fundamental skills, and assistance with remediation to bring the student up to grade level, nothing will work.
Thank you very much, sir. Speaker number 11.
I think Sherry spoke.
12. What number do you have, ma'am? Okay, come forward. Okay, thank you.
Hello again, Mrs. Garcia and board members. I'm Janice Luckstein and a 42-year LAUSD teacher, currently a substitute for the last 5 years. Mrs. Lamont, It's nice to hear you again. I met you at the leadership conference at UTLA, and to see you as sharp as ever, questioning the high cost of the $90,000 contract for Teach in America program. $90,000 for what? In this time of economic shortfalls. It seems unbelievable that Teach in America can that it costs $90,000. Personally, I didn't know. I thought somebody said it was a federal grant and it was free. Do these Teach in America teachers displace credentialed teachers? Can anyone answer that? That's a good question for someone to find out. Dr. Vladovic, do you know, do these Teach in America teachers displace credentialed teachers? Ms. Lamont, maybe you can find that out. Do they displace credentialed teachers?
Yes.
I'm using my time up proof rapidly. Okay. 8 years ago, I was the founder of the UTLA Capably Disabled Teachers Committee. Our committee would like you to be aware of the lack of serious safety and reasonable accommodation violation concerning a disabled teacher's. Her request was for a first floor classroom, which should not be a reasonable accommodation when there are plenty of rooms at a school, at an elementary school. It seems unbelievable that her reasonable accommodation for a first floor classroom was denied. Why? Nobody can answer. LAUSD's risk management department had a special meeting concerning it. They're not clear why it was denied. They even suggested that she go to another school. Why should a qualified teacher be forced to go to another school because a principal refuses to move her to an empty classroom on the first floor? This is a clear violation of American Disabilities Act reasonable accommodation. It's also compounded by an unsafe and difficult to use cage elevator the teacher is forced to use to move from the second floor that she again is being made to teach in. The third strike has been that this talented handicapped teacher has been frustrated and boiling hot, literally, because she's in a second floor classroom with her students who are also boiling, and because there's a malfunctioning or non-functioning air conditioner, which the principal should have been aware of because it was a current problem last year. Also, I'm very concerned. My understanding is that many air conditioning workers were laid off, so as a result, it takes months or maybe years for people to get air conditioning. Thank you for your help in helping this teacher and other teachers. This teacher is at Castellar Elementary, and we have other teachers whose reasonable accommodations have not been met by their principals. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have one more speaker for public comment. Welcome.
Thank you. Dear board members, Dr. DC, fellow colleagues, parents, and community members. My name is Sherry Felice Lincoln. I addressed you a short time ago on item 27 of Williams' decree. There are 3 additional points I wish to make. The trash bags are being emptied, not thrown away. This means that germs from used tissues, for instance, stay in the bag. I was in a classroom the last month of school where there was a sticky note from a school event that had been held the first week of school stuck to the bottom of the bag. These bags need to be thrown away. The second item is that the hot water has been turned off in the children's restrooms. During the winter, this means many of the children don't wash their hands because they feel the water is too cold. And that leads to the third item, the use of hand sanitizers in the classrooms. Such authorities as the doctors state that children under 10 should not be using them as they may be harmful, but I am seeing them in many schools and classrooms. All 3 items are health related and need addressing. Students are doing the sweeping. Yes, this means that often it's the career substitutes that see things that need correcting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Board members, that concludes public comment. I know we have an adjourning motion before that.